So today I went for a little walk in the snow, because it's snowing. Can you imagine this? Well, you probably can. And I went in the woods to find some nice sandstones. So what I plan to do is lift the back part up just 2 or 3 centimeters, but I think this is going to be nice. I found this very nice piece of sandstone. Looks like a fossilized tree. That's what I like about sandstones. They have these very natural and rough character. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of the stones that I used yesterday and remove the moss and lift the soil up a little here. So I'm going to make some room for the rocks. Back in the soil. Of course, yesterday I watered the trees. And I'm going to put the rocks in, like so. And then I will mount the soil in this manner. And of course I will have to replant some of the trees at the back, which of course is not a big deal, because they're freshly planted, so they will come loose very easily. But this is just going to be some construction with the rocks that I found. But I think in the end it will give a nice touch to the forest. It will add a lot of perspective. So this tree I can just put the soil under it, because it does not have roots here. Okay. So I'll work my way from here to here, and then maybe I'll do an extra lift. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So the work is in progress. I already added a few rocks now, and I'm trying to fix them by pressing some soil against them. I think this will work. I also used some moss. It will probably stabilize, but this thing is getting really heavy. So yeah. So now that this is a little higher, I need to lift these trees and put some soil under them, which is not really a complex thing, but well, it takes quite a lot of time. So another thing is that I don't want something flat and horizontal here. I need to have some extra movement there. So I'm going to take a few big rocks maybe, just to break up the line, which will make it a whole lot more attractive, I think. So I'm gonna continue. I really like to use that one. I don't know where I can put it, but I think it's such a nice rock. Maybe here in the back. Well, I don't know. If I don't use it, I'll find another purpose for it. This little tree could be very nice against this rock. And then I try to find a little one, a small one, just to fill up the hole here, and maybe just include it into the forest. So it's going to be a question of trying and fixing the trees. But as it goes now, I'm kind of happy with it. gonna lift this one a little. Like so, and block it with a small rock. This one will do very nicely. And then maybe add some soil. And work it in. Well, all the soil that is too much, of course, will be washed away with the next watering. It's kind of obvious. Like so. And then add some moss to fix it. I also found different kinds of moss in the woods, so I took always a little piece of it. And I'm doing that quite a lot when I just take a walk in the woods. So I mean, I have a whole lot of different kinds of moss, which is nice because gives different shape, different color. Okay, so I think this looks kind of cool. Just maybe put this one up a little, and then I have to work the soil in again. Okay, so I'm going to continue this, and this is not really a technique. This is something that, well, it's everyone's taste, you know. You want to do it this way, you want to do it that way. There's no right recipe. It's just fooling around and try to make something that you like to see. Yeah, well, I have a few rocks left, and I must say that, knowing me, this is going to be something that will change in the coming months. If I think that this tree should look better there, or this rock, or just adding some moss. But, well, from a construction point of view, there's a whole wall here, and it's well fixed. It will fix itself, of course, a little bit when the small particles in the soil mix get into the fissures. Of course, it will be better, and I think that I can fix a whole lot more of this stuff by just adding some pieces of moss in it, which will not hold the rocks together but will prevent the soil from getting out. So I need to do that. But this wall is important because it gives the possibility to make a slightly angled forest. You see, this part is from here is a little more elevated. Maybe I can just elevate it a little more, so I have to lift the trees again. So it will not be a flat forest, which might add some interest. I think maybe I can elevate this little tree here. So I'm going to do that. I'd like to make a big height here, So let's maybe just focus on that one to have an idea how something like that can be achieved. So I don't pretend to be an expert in this matter, but yeah, well, I'll give it a try, and then so maybe this one can be lifted a little more too. Yeah, the rock is on top of some of the roots here. Yeah, so this one should come up a little. So I'm just lifting the tree, pushing soil under it. And of course you have to add a little soil every time you do something like that, so it's a slow process, but it's gonna be nice. So this one a little more height. Okay, can still do a little more. So now I really want this up here, and well, it's not gonna stay in the air like that, so I'll make a little construction here. So first I'm going to add some soil. Where is my... here it is. So mounting some soil. A little more. Like that. Now I have to block this, but I don't want to hide it completely. I want it to be open. So this one can come here, which means that I can even put that one a little higher, and then maybe a little piece of wall here, and now I'm going to put it straight so it's a little higher. Yeah, and I have a few others that I could use, like so. Like this, and then a small one here maybe. Just to finish it up. Here I can add a last rock, or maybe just some moss, which could give a nice colored touch. So this is the platform. This is the tree. Now I should make it fit in it. I think this might work. Yeah, not too bad. Now I have to position everything, so you see the rocks are moving a little, but of course the tree is the most important part. It's not a very interesting tree because of the roots, but suddenly it becomes, well, a nice feature because it's planted in this little rock formation. So I'm going to add soil. I'm going to fix it with some moss. This is gonna fall. Just little portions of moss here. to keep the whole thing in place. Like so. And here and here and here and here and everywhere. So this can take a few more minutes, I should say hours, but it's fun, it's really fun. So like I said, I will probably change my mind on a few things in the coming weeks, but I want to finish this, of course, so I'm just going to add some little pieces of moss just to give it some color. This could be nice here, so just make a little spot where these pieces of moss can come. It's a good idea to put them on some roots that are not completely covered. There should be some moss here. This is very thick moss. And maybe I'll replace some stones and put some more moss and things like that. Here I missed a whole spot with soil. I must attend to that, of course. This rock formation, well, it came out nice, I think. Of course, with the coming rains, this whole thing will probably set itself now. Could use some color here, like that. Yeah. And different kinds of moss are always nice. Just a little bit in the front here. So in the coming weeks this moss will start to grow, and should I, yeah, maybe a little green here. That will be very nice. And a little detail there. Oh, and this tree is not completely fixed, so I'm not going to put the moss already there. Oh, here I have a spot. So, yeah, I think I'm done now with the landscaping. Managed to use the fancy rock here. You cannot see it completely, but it doesn't matter. It's serving a good purpose here. It's making this turn. Like so. Okay, so I have to do something about the upper parts. Now you see some of these branches are very long, but well, I said that I would do it, but I'm not going to do it. Why am I not going to do it? Well, it's snowing outside. It's very cold. It's going to freeze again this week, so I don't think this is a good idea to do a whole lot of cutting, especially on maples, because they die back if you do so. So probably I'll revisit this tree in a few weeks. It's sad because now the buds are really swelling and I still can see what's going on. But if I cannot do it, well, it's very easy. You see, I just have to follow the direction of the buds and cut back some of the top, cut back some of these very low branches that you will never use, do a bud selection. I have a video on bud selection, so maybe this might be interesting, but it's really very basic, you know. a bud has a direction, and that's where it's gonna grow. So you don't want 5 buds on the same spot, you don't want 3 buds on the same spot. 2 is more than enough. If you have 2 buds here, you cut back there, and so you'll have 2 branches. So that basically that's all there's to it. So well, okay, so that's I think about it. So there is still some work to do on this tree, refining it and making sure that every spot is well filled with soil and so on and so on, and adding little pieces of moss. But yeah, it's where I wanted it to be almost. Probably I'll change my mind maybe completely in a year or two and redo the whole thing. But that's no problem, because, well, the trees will grow, will get healthy, and then you will be able to manipulate it without too much danger of damaging it. So I'll give you a 360 to finish this video. And this is the result. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time.